My name is Alexis Edwards, and I'm going to inform you about Halloween. I'll start off by talking about the history of Halloween, and then I'll start talking about how it's celebrated in the United States and how it's celebrated around the world. I'll also tell you the history of jack-o'-lanterns, trick-or-treating, and bobbing for apples. Halloween comes from a Celtic holiday known as Samhain. It started in Ireland around 2,000 years ago, according to History.com. The day marked the end of harvest and started the cold winter months. On the night of October 31st, the Celts built large bonfires and believed that ghosts would come back to Earth. Around October 31st was known as the time of human death, so the line they believed between living and dead was blurred, and that's how spirits returned. They believed that these spirits returned to Earth helped their Celtic priests predict the future, which comforted them during the long, dark, cold winter months. After the Celtic lands were taken by the Roman Empire, things began to change about Samhain. Romans combined two of their traditions to Samhain. Their festivities included Feralia and a day in which they honored Pomona, their goddess of fruit, and Feralia honored their dead. Then in 609 AD, the Pope at the time established All Martyrs' Day, which was celebrated in May. Pope Gregory III then changed it to include All Saints and moved the day of observation to November 1st. All Souls' Day, another day to honor the dead, was established on November 2nd. The influence of Christianity then was spread to the Celtic lands and Samhain. The Roman tradition, All Martyrs, All Saints, and All Souls' Day, blended into one celebration now known as Halloween. Halloween in the United States includes jack-o'-lanterns, trick-or-treating, bobbing for apples, and dressing in costumes. According to www.learnenglish.de/culture/Halloween, the history behind the jack-o'-lantern, as you see here, is a rather creepy story. The story goes that a man by the name of Jack was not allowed to go to heaven because he was so sinful, but he'd also tricked the devil into a tree and would not let him come down unless the devil said that he would not accept him into hell. So he was left to wander the earth, and he then carved a turnip and put a candle inside. He became known as Jack of the Lantern, which is where we got the name Jack-o'-lantern. According to facts.randomhistory.com/Halloween facts, the tradition of trick-or-treating came from Celtic traditions of leaving treats at their doorsteps to ward off wandering spirits. Another tradition that trick-or-treating is based off of is souling. Souling was a Christian tradition in which poor people would go door to door asking for soul cakes, and in exchange they would say prayers for the deceased of the families. Bobbing for apples has a very less creepy tradition. It's more associated with love and romance, and they use bobbing for apples as a way to find out who they would marry and when they would get married. Dressing in costumes came from older traditions of disguising yourself on the night of Halloween so that the spirits wandering around wouldn't recognize you. It is estimated that Americans will spend $6.9 billion on Halloween costumes, decorations, and candy, according to business.time.com/2011/09/29/now-that's-creepy, Americans will blow $7 billion on Halloween. The traditions of Halloween in the United States have stemmed from many different places and have a weird history behind them. The United States isn't the only country that celebrates Halloween. Some other countries that celebrate Halloween are Spain, Mexico, Latin America, England, France, Canada, and other countries. According to www.pumpkinpatchesandmore.org/Halloween Global, Spain, Mexico, and Latin America celebrate what they know as El Dia de los Muertos, which we know as the Days of the Dead. This is a 3-day celebration consisting of candles, parades, honoring the dead, and making altars for deceased family members and other traditions. The celebration in England is much different because when the Protestant Reformation came around, many didn't believe in the saints, so they had no reason to celebrate the Eve of All Saints' Day, but then started celebrating Guy Fawkes Day. This day is the celebration of the execution of Guy Fawkes, who was an English traitor. They celebrated with fireworks and bonfires. In recent years, many families in England have started the tradition of trick-or-treating and have actually started celebrating Halloween. But they celebrate both Halloween and Guy Fawkes Day. In France, Halloween is not celebrated to honor the dead or anything else like that. It's more of just to have a party with friends and to dress in costumes. Canada's celebrations of Halloween are very similar to the United States and with jack-o'-lanterns and trick-or-treating. www.history.com/topic/Halloween/Halloween around the world and www.pumpkinpatchesandmore.org/HalloweenGlobal give me all the information on Halloween around the world. As you can see, Halloween is celebrated differently around the world and is celebrated for many different reasons. Halloween is just a fun holiday and can be celebrated in many different ways. It started out as Samhain and with many different changes it is developed into what we know as Halloween. In the United States, we celebrate with costumes, trick-or-treating, and bobbing for apples. Around the world, they honor the dead, throw parties, light bonfires, and light fireworks. Halloween is a crazy holiday with a crazy past, and I hope I informed you all more about Halloween.